So what I'm going to take you through now is kind of the reworked example for the start of 2024 and some of the changes that were kind of implied from the shell that the university systems are trying to encourage us to use, but also how I've kind of adapted it for my own purposes. So here's a site that's unpublished. I'm working on it for non-semester one. And I wanted to just show you a few of the minor tweaks I've made and why. So on the front page, it has been recommended that we still have a welcome and a little bit about the topic. But it's also being encouraged to put an image from the TC, whoever's communicating, so that it's very clear about, I guess, that presence. And we used to talk about social presence a lot in the design online space, but it also gives them a little bit of, I guess, anticipation of who is responsible for this particular topic, particularly if they don't know you. So not a lot has changed here. I did add in a little bit more of instruction down the bottom of the welcome about the topic, just to give them an overview of where to find things. I think this could be tweaked even further. I think lack of time will certainly be a problem, but I wanted to also position that the welcome video has been placed within the syllabus, and this is where I had it before, but I wanted just to give them that connection of where it is, mainly because I don't want it on my landing page. Having a video that has to buffer and load within the landing page can actually slow some things down, particularly if they're not in a strong internet connected environment, including on their phones. And so we just wanted to try and keep this as user friendly as possible. And they don't want to see the welcome video every time they come into this space. So let's keep it in the syllabus for now, was my thinking. I still have the structure that's still here. I haven't changed any of this or the functionality. I did tweak the kind of design just to give it a little bit more pizzazz here, but I think we could even keep working on this. And by updating the banner for my topic, it gives them that visual of where they are at this particular time, and that should obviously relate back to the dashboard for Canvas, so that they can make that visual connection straight away. Because this topic, again, is taught fully in a classroom on campus, a lot of what we do in the classroom has to have some connection to being very transparent. And of course, I'm still doing the two ways of working, slides for me to navigate through the class, but also within the modules. And so they are still there. They just look a little bit different for this particular topic. So what you'll see when you first get access to your rolled over, shall we say, topic from the Flow Moodle system into the Canvas system, you start to see the modules, and they will look something like this. So here's my first module. Okay, I'm going to show you what that looks like in Flow, just so you can see this is obviously not very easy to navigate, or there's no connection or purpose for why they would want to click on any of this. And so having a clear idea about where I've come from and where I'm going and what I'm changing might help give you some more context. So let me pull up Flow. So this was the Flow site from the previous year. I have very similar information in my module 0, as you can see, plus some others. But if I open up module 1, you'll see that I had that kind of big overview, what to expect, kind of outcomes. I had the slides from that week. I had any information that that I needed to communicate, particularly in week 1. I had the link to the readings. Then I had kind of the connections to what we do. The preparation was key, particularly in this topic, but making the connections to the theory and what we're doing. We had a few activities, we have a case study, we do an experiment, as you do in science, do some kind of connection there. And because this is theory to practice type model, it is now let's turn that experiment into what we do with children and why. So that kind of activity was there. And this starts to repeat itself as we go through each of the modules. Okay, it's a lot of scrolling. That's why I guess the Moodle system is a little dated as far as the functionality goes, or what we call usability. So when we're back within Canvas, you can see that this doesn't really translate straight away. Okay, the headings are there, the links are all there. I haven't lost anything. If there's downloadables like this one, it's still there. And I think that's a really nice position to be in as you head into a new semester and trying to pull everything together. What we don't have is any real purpose for this. And of course, if I click on the very first component of a module, you get the information and you can tab through. And here we go. Here's some of the PDF version of the slides that will preview and load in that space. And then we go into a video that was recorded, and goodness knows what that's going to be about, because I haven't actually moved that particular video. I do them fresh for every year. And so on. Oh, look. And so we get an error. This is definitely not unexpected. There was never going to be a seamless way to move all of this information, including our readings, I think that's where the error came from one system to a completely new system without there being some problems. And so I wanted to be able to show you the approach that I've taken, because the university has provided us with these two elements will be in your new sites for next year. This one's great. It's got some information in it. It's not for students. You can read that, of course. What they're suggesting is the shell. These are the shell elements they are, I guess, hoping to see consistency across the university. But there's nothing here, not really, that we weren't doing last time we used it. And that's what I wanted to show in that very first video. They want us to use, what do you know, a landing page with a welcome. And so that is what I've done. I've kind of obviously changed it to make it fit, but they wanted us to have a photo. They've encouraged this element. And how I know that is when you go into the edit mode, you will see, because there is editor information, these are some instructions for us. We don't see these for students. It says here, add a welcome message or video for your students and provide an overview of what they'll do. You know, it does say a welcome video is preferred, but an image of the topic coordinator and a text message or audio message is also good practice. They're trying to help, I guess, instruct what we do in this space. And so I have done that. I don't agree with having a video on the landing page. It's short-lived. It's maybe watched once if we're lucky. So I don't agree with having that on the homepage. That's why I added this welcome aspect here and telling them where to find that said video. And that's best case scenario for me. You'll see that you do have these other kind of connections here of what you should do. But again, this is the information that I've already got in my syllabus, because I've already done that hard thinking and design the first time I had to do it. So just so you know, that information is still there. If I jump back to the modules, all the way back, it's not as easy to navigate without using the side panel. You'll see that they also recommend the teaching team, which is this. Okay, pretty great if you've got lots of people, but I usually teach alone. If I may have one other person who teaches with me, and again, I've already got this information in my syllabus. What they're also suggesting is an assessment overview. Now this is, what do you know, exactly the syllabus. All it is all these elements I already have, with the exception of this statement here. I haven't put that link anywhere because it's here. I don't know if I need to make that link yet. Maybe that's something that we can think about. But any information, this is kind of irrelevant. Okay, this I already have in each of my assignments. This I also have, and this I also have in each of my assignments. This I didn't have, so I have added it. I'll show you where I've put that. And deferred assessment, we don't have. So I haven't included that at all. All this information is already in here. So I'll show you where I've placed the one missing element. The other thing is this support aspect. And this information I already had provided my students in the syllabus. I might just make sure I've got the right links just to make sure that before I start the process of duplicating that across the, say, 6 topics that I have to set up. So I want to save myself some time. So I'm going to double check that. But that is all that they're talking about as far as this shell goes, as far as we can tell. This is what they've placed within our sites for development. So what I'll show you is in the syllabus is where I've put most of the core information. I've added the academic integrity information down here. I already had the support for students, etc. here, and I just wanted to check that the links were going to work again and so on, making sure they're not linking to Flow, that they are actually going to a web page that the university provides. So that's just a little bit of a check. So I've added that element in, and that's probably the key aspect. Now, of course, I could probably put the SAMS one in here as well. That probably wouldn't hurt. But I don't know how much of that's relevant to the topic, or is it about the assignment? Is it explicitly connected to the assignment? And so that's where we want to try and think through these aspects so we know what we're doing and where everything is, so the students get that repeated usability across our topics. If I jump back, the things I have changed really are around the modules themselves, and there's not a huge change. This is one I've just tweaked a little bit. I'm still giving them the overview and the intent, the objectives for the week, links to the readings. The activity looks a little bit different because this is a little bit more of a complex and a longer topic. And so we have our connecting approach. We have our experimentation. We always do a hands-on activity. And we also have our link to putting that into practice. So these three are the same across every module that I have. I still have the same functionality up here that they can jump through different weeks or different modules as they see fit. And this is all going to be open from day one. So there's no secret essentially. What I haven't got here yet are the slides from class. And I'm still in two minds whether that's relevant in this particular topic. It wouldn't hurt. I could add another tab here and put the slides in just like I did in my previous topic, and that I can do week to week as I need it. I don't need to have that necessarily set up. So that's pretty much the overview that I still have, as you can see, for each of the weeks that I teach. The other element here, of course, is the assignments. And these I am obviously working on, and you want to make sure that you're setting them up as much as you can from the very beginning. It's what the students want to see. Again, this information is still here. We still have the same preparation and construction aspects. We still have the same how to submit, extend, and resubmit information. I think the important thing is this is what changes every year. Particularly if you're tweaking your assignment, you still want to try and communicate. For me, I do that through the video. It helps me think about the assignment, so I'm better prepared when we have conversations in class about the nitty-gritty things. At the very early stage, it's just that overview, and that's what this is kind of giving them. There will be a rubric built within the system here. It makes far more sense for marking, but it will also be providing them with a downloadable version this time around, mainly because that was something that was requested, that was missing, but it does mean I'm making the decision to do something twice every year. So that's something I want to consider moving forward, of how sustainable we can actually be with all these little admin things to make the functionality there. I think around assignments, I believe that that's a worthwhile kind of approach, but that's something that will have to be considered as we move forward. So I hope that shows you where we're kind of moving a few of the requirements. What it looks like can be tweaked, the setup, the layout, everything can be changed to suit your needs, and how flexible it is actually to do that. I think in the next video I'll create will show you where you can get a copy of these particular examples if you choose to work from that.